Okay, guys, today I want to start a new series of lessons. I want to teach you how to use the simple past. Let's start with the verb to be. It's very easy. There are only two words to remember: was and were. Was is used with two subjects. I was, and he was, she was, it was, there was, my father was, my dog was. Okay? Were is used with all the other subjects. Now, be careful. You were. A lot of students make mistakes here. So you were, we were, you plural were, they were. My students were, my cats were. Okay? So you use were for plurals, but also for you. Let's sum this up. I was, you were, he was, we were, you were, they were. The negative is extremely easy. I wasn't, you weren't, he wasn't, we weren't, you weren't, they weren't. And for questions, just turn things around and say, was I? Were you? Was he? Were we? Were you? Were they? Okay? Let's put all this into practice, shall we? It was a pleasure meeting you. The pleasure was mine. It was nice meeting you. When I was a child, I was terribly afraid of spiders. Ugh. She was my best friend. When I was your age, I was an adult. Mr. Cole's speech was excellent. I was a cute little girl, wasn't I? But I was mischievous. He was accompanied by his wife. Yesterday was my birthday. Yippee! They were very impressed by my paintings. It was nothing but a joke. You were supposed to call me last night. She was in a great hurry. It was very cold last night. Ooh. There was a good film on TV last night. There were some problems with the delivery. Right, let's tackle negative sentences. Let's go. The exam wasn't very difficult. In fact, it was very easy. We weren't at home on Sunday. We were at the seaside. I wasn't ready to have a child. I was way too young. It wasn't very warm yesterday. Your trip to Bora Bora wasn't cheap, was it? Hell no! It was very expensive. Why weren't you at school last week? I was in bed with the flu. Oh, I wasn't aware that you were so ill. Sorry. There wasn't anybody on the beach. It was fantastic. There weren't many people at the market this morning. There weren't any buses today. They weren't able to come because they were so busy. Nobody was injured. There was nobody there. Nothing was simple. There was no bathroom. Okay, let's do some questions now. Ready? Was the book interesting? Oh, yes, it was. What was the right answer? What was his name again? Prigogine, I believe it was. Where were you born? I was born in Tahiti. What time was it? It was around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, how many times was your reel viewed last week? More than 10,000 times. Can you believe it? Oh, come on, eat properly. Were you born in a barn? Was it late? No, it wasn't. And how was your day? It was fantastic. How was your summer? It sucked. Oh my God, what was that? And when you lose the thread in a conversation, then you say, where was I? Or where were we? We were on page 15. When was the last time we met? It was last June. What was that noise? Okay, now you can use what was she like, what were they like when you ask for a description. What was the movie like? It was terrific. What was the weather like? Oh, there was so much wind. What were the students like today? They were pretty awful. Terrible. Horrible. What were the scampies like? Oh, they were out of this world. Was the weather good when you were on holiday? Oh, yes, it was. And when was last time you went to the hairdressers? Okay, we can stop this lesson here, but if you are a good student, please stick with me. The other students, bye. Okay, I have 3 more things to tell you. The first one is you are going to use was and were when your introductory verb in a sentence is in the past. So, I thought, I didn't think, I told you, I asked him, I didn't say, etc. Let's do a few examples. I thought he was dead. I didn't think it was funny. She asked me if you were married. John told me you were sick. Why didn't you say you were a police officer when you were arrested? They said it was lousy, and it was. She asked him if he was happy. Number 2, in conditional sentences, you will often hear, if I were you. I'm sorry, guys. Now you can also say, if I was, but if I were sounds better. Examples. If I were an animal, I'd be a tiger. If I were a car, I'd be an Aston Martin. If I were a genius, I'd be Einstein. If I were a hero, I'd be Martin Luther King. If you were a library book, I would never bring you back. If things were different, I would marry you. And if I were you, I'd have sex with me. Number 3, okay, in passive voice, you can use my dog was run over by a car. My car was stolen last night. 2 Americans were kidnapped in Mexico. Now, those sentences are quite easy to understand. Now, be careful with I was told, on m'a dit. I was given, on m'a donné. That's more difficult for French speakers. So here are a couple of examples. I was given the opportunity to teach French in Louisiana. My students were told to wait in the hall. Well, that's it for me today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and see you next time. Bye.